He's also elusive. He's got great feet, great body control. He's got great awareness in the pocket, and he's a winner.
Gators will look to the leadership of Mertz to carry the team against their tough opponents this season. It's 89 degrees at 12 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, get ready to spend the next 2 hours with our three sports-loving ladies. Mia O'Brien, Lauren Brooks, and Taylor Dahl.
Hey, hey.
This is Helmets and Heels
On 1010XL, switched on by First Coast Lighting and Fans. Upscale lighting, fans, and home decor.
Show me what you got, pretty lady.
Surprise! We're here.
We're back.
No Jaguars programming today, so the ladies are in the saddle until 2 p.m. But I do feel like, Mia and Taylor, that we need to pour one out for our friend Tyler Shatley. The fact that he was drafted here in 2014 has been Mr. Reliable for so many years, and at least as of now, is not going to play for the Jaguars. Did not make the 53 and is not on the practice squad that has been closed out. So I feel like we need to pour one out for him.
Now, wink, wink. Never say never, Lauren.
That's what Trimbalky said. You're right.
Wink,
But-
wink.
Never say never.
But
wink. We can't say out loud that, if Tyler just so happens to still be in shape and still be in town, that, I don't know. This is me speculating, not Trent Baalke, not the Jags, that, maybe if he's around and heaven forbid there should be injuries, not to say that he's, kind of like an honorary 17th, 18th practice squad member just hanging out in town.
I mean, that is certainly one of the options. Or he can, Taylor, drink beer and eat
Have a
pizza
good time.
and be like everybody
No, he
else.
told me he's focused on the pickup line, man. He's focused on the pickup line for his 3 children. They're all in school for the first time ever, so.
When I hear pickup line, that's not what I think.
Yeah,
first.
that's.
Oh, no, you don't think of the. Okay, we need a drop-off line then. We need this on. Put this on the poll, RJ. I know our X, we're still dealing with some issues with the 1010XL X. We could put this on the YouTube live stream. We could put this out to the Heeligans on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Do you call it the pickup line or the drop-off line at school? Please answer 641-1010. I need to know what the people are thinking.
I don't
Well,
know.
I think you drop them off and then you pick them up later.
Exactly.
So it's both at some
Right.
point
I'm just
during
saying
the
when
day.
I hear pickup line, I think
She was
did
thinking
you
like you're
fall
hitting
out of
on
heaven
somebody.
because you look
Yeah.
like an angel.
Like when you
Thank you.
pick up line. That's so funny. That's what I heard at first too. but-
Right. But either I was like, he's married. I don't understand why he's working on the pickup line. And now
But
I
yeah,
get it.
it is when you have somebody, you don't see often anymore players stick around as long as Shatley has here in Jacksonville. It's just kind of the way it goes now to where, number one, if they can't be afforded or just teams use just kind of the regimes start changing and the starters change during that time. So there's a lot of reasons that things get kind of mixed around. And so to see a player who has been here so long and dedicated to Jacksonville so long and loves Jacksonville because he talks about it all the time. I saw Clay Harbor tweeting about him yesterday because when Clay Harbor was here, Shatley was on the team and he was like, it's wild to think that, I've been gone X amount of time and he's still hanging on and, one of the best people I've known and one of the, better players that I got to play around. So there are other people that aren't with the Jags anymore, haven't played with Shatley in a long time that still respect everything that he's been in the NFL.
Yeah, for sure. He's been a guy who has played center, has played left guard, has played some, I think, right guard too, at some points in time. And I'm not going to hit every quarterback, but he would have started with Chad Henne and Blake Bortles in 2014. Obviously, the Gardner Minshew era, or Nick Foles era, then Gardner Minshew era, now Trevor Lawrence era.
Jake Luton, Mike Glennon, the Tank
there were some good
Commanders of
ones.
2020. CJ Beathard, a starter too. Yeah, what a journey. I can't wait for the book to come out. I will gladly co-write it with you, Tyler, if you're listening right now, and you know that.
Let's get it to the NFL rookies. We do know now for week 1, Caleb Williams. We already kind of knew that, but we'll start against the Titans. Jaden Daniels will start against the Buccaneers down in Tampa. And then Bo Nix gets the start going up against the Seahawks in Seattle. For the Broncos, none of those are really surprises. The only new news, I should say, is the fact that Drake May will back up Jacoby Brissett for the Patriots. A little bit surprising there.
Mm-hmm.
But of those 3 quarterbacks that are going to start, Caleb Williams at home against the Titans, Jaden Daniels at the Bucs, Bo Nix at the Seahawks. Who's going to have the best week 1?
I mean, I'm not saying this just because Taylor's in the room. I think it's Caleb Williams. And I think that's why he, at least as of this writing, which I understand the game is not played on paper, but if you want to just look at sheer what is around the quarterback, which is so essential to their not only success on the field, Lauren, but their development as a quarterback, Caleb Williams is in the best situation. I don't care who the opposition is. It all comes down to what do you have to work with. Trevor Lawrence had all the tools in the world when he got to Jacksonville in 2021, but because the operation around him was dysfunctional and because the talent wasn't deep, therefore, he was never going to have success and he was always behind the 8 ball. Patrick Mahomes sitting the year that he did in Kansas City, and I understand that was a playoff team with Alex Smith at the helm, but what it allowed for Andy Reid and company and Brett Veach and that front office to do was to fortify that roster to maximize Mahomes' potential when he did start a year later. And you can make the same argument for Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens once upon a time. Yes, because of Joe Flacco's injury, he was thrust into starting duty midway through his rookie year. But part of why they sat Lamar, and that's where I'm so curious to discuss those 3 rookie quarterbacks who will not be day one starters, and could they start at some point this year, or will they sit the entire year? I look back at the Lamar situation, and I give Baltimore all the credit in the world because part of why they sat Lamar was not because he was 20 years old, but because they recognized his skill set and Joe Flacco's were so different, and they were slowly planning and building towards that next year, which, oh, by the way, he won an MVP.
Yeah.
They were going to be curtailing the offense to his skill set. It wasn't that way his rookie year. It was a very good roster, though, much like Caleb Williams will have the benefit of this year.
Yeah, I genuinely tried to not pick Caleb. I went through other factors because I was like, I don't want to put this on myself, first of all, of having to expect this. But there's too many things pointing that way. And to just alone of Caleb being home, the other 2 on the road for their first NFL starts. But also Caleb, the surroundings. And Ryan Poles said it yesterday in one of the pressers that what they're expecting from Caleb Williams. And he said, I'm expecting him to rely on everything we've built around him. And when he's ready to open up and unleash, then he can do it. But it's not going to have to be forced because there's so much help around him when it comes to all the offensive weapons, when it comes to even the run game that they've been one of the top the last however so many years. What they feel like is an improved offensive line with actual depth now, with the defense that's way higher in defensive rankings than any of the other when it comes to Washington or Denver. And then also who they're playing. And the Titans have added, when they added Ernest Jones, linebacker, that was obviously a big move. So you have him in addition, but the Titans are also have one of those 3 opponents when it comes to the Bucs and Seattle. And Titans have the worst defense out of those 3 too. So there's a lot of things that kind of point to helping Caleb week 1. It all has to play out. You have to do it on the football field, and we need to see kind of everything that we saw in preseason from him transfer over. But I did like the Poles' comments of we're not asking him to do everything right now. When he's ready to do that, we'll be here for it, but it doesn't have to be week 1.
Yeah, certainly it helps to start at home. I could make the argument, though, that Jaden Daniels, based off of what I saw from him in college, is going to step right into the NFL, and what we saw from him in the preseason, too, and be one of the better rookie quarterbacks. And again, the Bucs, Vita Vea is fantastic, but I wasn't that impressed with the Bucs when they were here for the joint practices or in that preseason game.
No, their defense, there's some question marks. I think their secondary is what the safety room with obviously Antoine Winfield is where they're most confident in, but there's a lot of questions up front because there are kind of some aging pieces up there, and we've talked about that for the last few years. But when you look at any of the defensive rankings on any site, the Bucs are beyond 20 everywhere that you're seeing. So they're not that defense that we're used to seeing what was 4 or 5 years ago. The thing with Jaden, and I think I'm very high on Jaden. I think he's going to be good. I'm high on Washington. I've said they're my team, my sleeper team all year. The one concern for me is it's pretty much Terry McLaurin, and that's it. It's Scary Terry, and beyond
Until
that,
they
just got rid of
Brandon Ayuk next week. X-Files music, RJ.
Yeah, and if they get that, obviously that's a major boost to their offense. But right now, you lose Jahan Dotson, who was your wide receiver too, and probably the next best on that roster. And he had Brian Thomas Jr. and Malik Neighbors in college, which helped him massively. So I do think that is a little bit. And like I said, I truly went through each of these and was like, what are some reasons I can pick Jaden and Bo Nix? And again, I think Bo Nix has been fantastic this preseason. He's surprised me. I think he looks comfortable. His arm looks like he's very accurate this whole offseason between camp and between preseason from everything I've heard. And so I think that he's going to be also a really fun guy to watch. But for week one, going against a little bit better of a defense when it comes to it, I also think that when you look at their weapons too, Cortland Sutton, Josh Reynolds, and Marvin Mims, you're not terrified of those guys. And so to me, it's just the fact that there's a list of guys that people are going to have to worry about week one in Chicago and not so much the other teams. But that doesn't mean by week 4 or 5 that I don't think these guys are going to be competing at a higher level, at least from last year.
I think Jaden Daniels will do a lot himself. To your point about what they don't want Caleb to have to do, I think Jaden Daniels is going to have a stat line of like 290 yards passing and also 100 yards rushing.
Yeah.
But then the question will be, and again, that's where having a defensive-minded head coach in Dan Quinn is fascinating, because you couple that with, if we're going to throw Trevor Lawrence's rookie year out the window, getting an offensive-minded head coach in Doug Peterson is what led to not only Trevor's development, but the quick turnaround for the Jags. If Dan Quinn can create a defense that, I don't have the stats in front of me right now, but I know Washington wasn't exactly the class of the league last year, especially after they traded Montez Sweat to the Bears and traded Chase Young away, who I understand wasn't quite performing at the level he was early on in his career. But still, that's where, if that defense can hold up its end of the bargain, we know that Jaden Daniels is a human highlight reel. It'll be curious, chicken or the egg question, though, if he can be that human highlight reel without having the likes of Malik Neighbors, without having the likes of Brian Thomas Jr. on the outside to throw it to.
It's funny because everyone, Taylor, I feel like only talked about Malik Neighbors for the longest time. And they were like, yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. got all that help because Neighbors was on the opposite field from him, opposite side of the field. And now all of a sudden, I feel like that narrative is starting to turn a little bit of like, well, Brian Thomas Jr. was really good in college. It's almost like people dismissed that for a while.
I don't know, maybe because I did so much on covering both of them when it came into the draft that I heard they were very high on both. I mean, it was to the point where people were saying, like, maybe the Bears trade back to 10 or 11 and take Brian Thomas Jr. So I've heard very high things of him from the start of at least this offseason. But to the point of the defenses, because that's another thing that kind of factored into this, and the Bears are expecting their defense to be one of they ended in the top as a top 6 defense last season. They're expecting that to continue. But the one thing with Jaden had a terrible defense when it came to LSU last season. So even if he has to, like you said, kind of be the guy to carry this team week one, you could see him being one of the quarterbacks able to do that. Caleb Williams also had a terrible defense that he had to kind of handle or deal with at USC too. So both of these quarterbacks are coming from situations where they had to kind of be the hero a lot in college, and Jaden may still have to be that, and I don't think Caleb will.
Yeah, say that louder for the Heeligans on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures, Taylor, because we already got one from 722. Are we positive the Notre Dame game Caleb isn't going to show up? Because I would say we're positive of that, because while certainly there will be growing pains for Caleb Williams, to be sure, because he is a rookie, this is a team that has largely brought in pieces that were not together a year ago across the board on offense. It's safe to say his defense, which in Chicago was a top 5 defense last year, will be significantly better than the defense of USC that faced Notre Dame last year.
Yeah, and I think that the weapons he's throwing to from top to bottom are better. I also think a lot of times when you watched especially that Notre Dame game, it was almost like...
Yeah, because you also have a vested interest. Let's remind the Heeligans. You are a Notre Dame fan, so...
And he was having to... It was almost just like watching Caleb Williams try to survive that game. He was having... The moment the ball was snapped, he was having to run somewhere and figure out, trying to find his receivers. Receivers were dropping balls, tripping over their feet at certain points. It was just a hot mess disaster. And did he play great? No. That was one of the games that, honestly, a lot of Bears fans in the beginning of the season didn't want Caleb Williams, because there's a lot of Notre Dame fans in that area when it comes to Chicago, Northwest Indiana. And that's the game that they all watched of Caleb Williams. So that's where a lot of the criticisms come from. But every podcast that I've done on Caleb is like, that's his outlier game. Every college quarterback has that game where you're like, what about this one? And that was Caleb's.
Yeah, like you said, everyone has a moment. I'm sure that we could go back to sometimes with Trevor too. There was, I'm sure, a game where he didn't look great, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to translate. And sometimes that's just not your day. You know, that happens in all walks of life. Exactly. That's what I was just about to say. The other ones that are not starting, Michael Penix Jr. will back up Kirk Cousins, according to the Falcons, and then J.J. McCarthy is out for the entire year on injured reserve. And we already mentioned Drake May will back up Jacoby Brissett. So those are, I feel like, guys that it's not a surprise at all, of course, about Michael Penix assuming that Kirk Cousins is healthy. But Drake May backing up Jacoby Brissett, that's the most interesting one because of the fact that Jacoby Brissett is a journeyman to this point in the league.
Yes and no, though, because what was Alex Smith? I mean, I understand Alex Smith was a first overall pick once upon a time.
Yeah.
Not quite the Jacoby Brissett pedigree per se, but at that juncture of his tenure when Patrick Mahomes was drafted by Kansas City, and I understand it's a different situation because Jacoby Brissett was brought in to be the bridge. Alex Smith was already there, and they were very vocal with him up to 2 years earlier, showing him Patrick Mahomes' tape and saying, hey, we want to bring this guy in if we can get him. I think that, again, this idea of sitting the rookie for a year for so long outside of Green Bay and that one example in Kansas City, it has been frowned upon because this idea of, well, they need to learn by trial by fire. Maybe that isn't the only way. Once upon a time in the 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, you had to wait not only as an NFL rookie, but in college. Leroy Butler, when he sat here, he told us he wasn't allowed to play his freshman year because Bobby really didn't play any freshmen. And in his case with the scholarship, that's part of why he didn't play. But by far and large, if you look at college and the NFL, this idea of guys waiting their turn, and not only waiting their turn so that they can develop in the weight room and develop in terms of their knowledge of that level of play, but also so the team around them can be built. That's what you're seeing in New England. New England knows its roster sucks right now.
Yeah.
They quite frankly, they know it sucks, and they don't want to risk Drake May getting hurt, so they would rather build up that roster around him before they throw him into the flames.
Bortles, by the way, was supposed to sit. They won.
Correct.
That was the plan for a while.
Right, yeah.
And then they saw what they had in Blake in the preseason, and they decided, okay, this leash is now shorter.
And
on
that
Chad
very
Henne.
much could happen in
It's
New
the same-
England.
Yeah, and that's what happened to Justin Fields. Andy Dalton got hurt, and then he got thrown into a roster that wasn't built for him.
And that's when you see injuries, especially too, is because the difference, we saw that here with Nick Foles, Gardner Minshew.
Yep.
Once Minshew got the start, once Foles was hurt, the offensive line wasn't able to protect Foles once he was able to come back.
Yep.
And so that's why they stuck with Minshew. Lots of former Jags quarterbacks making the programs today. Usually it's just Trevor. All right. Mia, you caught up with Asezi Otomeweho. No, I'm saying it wrong.
He pronounces it properly for us.
Perfect.
I forgot to tell Mike Dempsey as he exited the studio. Hopefully he's listening as he's driving home right now. We're going to clip it. We're going to put it in the system. We're going to make the Jaguars Today boys and the rest of 1010XL happy. We're just going to drop his name in after his first name whenever someone needs the proper pronunciation.
Asezi Otomewo. Right? Isn't that right?
Yes.
Otomewo.
Yes.
Yes, perfect. All right, we'll hear from him on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You have heard about the 1010XL YouTube channel. Now check out our team-specific channels, 1010XL Jaguars, 1010XL Gators, and 1010XL Seminoles, bringing up specific, up-to-the-minute video coverage of your favorite local team. And find us on YouTube today.
Looking for a new vehicle? Take a look at Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville. Now's the time to save big this summer. Choose from more than 250 new and over 1,000 used and certified pre-owned vehicles on the lot, or shop anytime at JenkinsHyundaiofJacksonville.com. Hyundai has one of the top warranties in the business. Lifetime powertrain and a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty, plus 3 years free maintenance on a new vehicle. Give us the opportunity to earn your business today. Atlantic Boulevard, Jacksonville, or visit JenkinsHyundaiofJacksonville.com. Welcome to the family.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
This right here is as good as it gets. This is life getting lived without obligations or complications. This is filling your cup and savoring the moment. This is the gift of presence, served to you in a place where there's room for everyone and enough to go around. And the best part, it's always Sunny's here. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
What's changed totally inside and out? The Kuhn Flowers massive storefront, and yes, they've totally remodeled the showroom inside too. This is Frank Frangie. And the next time you drive by, stop and smell the roses at Kuhn Flowers.
These are the last days for Monahan Jewelers store-wide 50 to 60% off sale. These are the biggest savings we could possibly offer with everything on display, discounted 50 to 60% off, ending Saturday, August 31st. We bought so much brand new jewelry that we need to make room for it, and the only way to do that is to give you huge deals at 50 to 60% off everything. And the sale ends Saturday, August 31st. Diamond jewelry, colored gemstones, gold chains, everything on display is 50 to 60% off at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Nothing came easy, and he wouldn't have it any other way.
It's blue-collar line of scrimmage football. I'm Tom McManus, and I join Jaguars Today, Fridays from 10 to noon.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home, or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving, they can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
Thermal Engineers is hiring. Thermal Engineers is a commercial HVAC contractor serving North Florida for over 20 years. Qualified technicians and installers. How does top pay, 401k, and full benefits sound, and a signing bonus? Is it time for a positive change in your career? Join the family-oriented commercial HVAC contractor at Thermal Engineers. Call 230-1172 or go to Thermal Engineers, Inc., an equal opportunity employer.
Check in Friday on The Frangie Show for the House Call segment brought to you by Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Rehab. Join the discussion as a JOI expert tells you about concussions and how they're assessed. JOI, where the pros go.
Looking to elevate your game night experience? Look no further than Best Bet. We're not just a card room, we're your destination for excitement, fun, and big wins. Whether you're a seasoned player or new to the game, we have something for everyone. Join us at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, or St. Augustine for thrilling tournaments, exciting promotions, and a vibrant atmosphere that will take your game night to the next level. Elevate your game night at Best Bet. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Chelsea here with Renewal by Anderson. Summer's winding down, and so are our prices at Renewal by Anderson's end of summer window and door sale. Upgrade your home with custom Fibrex windows and doors. Whether you need custom energy efficient, hurricane resistant windows or a stylish new patio door, we've got you covered. A better way to a better window. Visit us at bestwindowsflorida.com for details. Transform your home before fall with the end of summer sale. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CGC 1527613.
Mortgage rates have plummeted, and Loan Pronto clients are locking in the lowest rates we've seen in years. Hey, it's Roger Moore, founder and CEO of Loan Pronto. It's happening. We are finally locking APRs in the fives, something we haven't seen for a long time. If that sky-high rate is killing you or you need to get cash out of your home equity, now is the time to take action. Or listen, even if you want to keep that first mortgage rate intact, you can take advantage of lower rates with our Equity Express line of credit. We're seeing homeowners take 50, 75, 200 grand or more out of their equity and wiping out that high-interest debt with an average savings of $850 per month. Bottom line, your home value is way up and mortgage rates have come way down, making this a great time to act. Call today for a 30-second rate quote. Do it now, and you can even skip your next 2 mortgage payments. 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. 904-999-1508.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
This is Helmets and Heels.
Kept classy by First Coast Lighting and Fans. Upscale lighting, fans, and home decor.
On 1010XL.
It's going to start rolling off our tongues. Jaguars defensive lineman's name, Asezio Tomoe.
Eventually we'll.
What's funny is we can get Tua Tagovailoa, we can get DJ Uyunglele. Those are more of the Polynesian names. But the African names, sometimes like Afoye Oluwakin, for some people might be more difficult. But Asezi Atomewo, for some reason,
it
that
just
last
takes me
name.
a few times, and once I get it, because I had the worst time with DJ Uyunglele forever, and now it's just there. So I'm like,
It's funny because some
sometimes
people still struggle with that.
To me, if I say, like, give me 3 or 4 times, like, having to say it, and I'll get it.
Otomewo.
Otomewo.
See, it's really not that hard.
We just have to practice. It's like, I mean, look, we finally learned Yannick Ngakoue. I mean, I wasn't here when he first got drafted, but how long did that take people to?
Well, there was always the debate of Yannick versus Yannick.
Yannick versus Yan.
Yeah,
That's
but
true.
eventually
That's why we just said Yan.
Yan, exactly.
Yep, exactly. Well, we're just going to call him Aseze, and here he is in his own words after making the Jaguars' initial 53-man roster. Pleased to be joined with a gentleman who I'm going to begin this interview by saying, could you please pronounce your first and last name for the Jaguar fans and 1010 listeners out there?
Asezi Otomewo.
Aseze Otomewo. We actually said we're going to clip that, and we're going to just play it every single time somebody doesn't say it. Aseze Otomewo, defensive tackle, Jacksonville Jaguars, on the initial 53-man roster. How are you on this fine Wednesday, sir?
Man, I'm blessed to be here. I'm thankful for the men in this facility, the staff. It's a real warm feeling every day when I come into the facility, just get ready to go to work, man. I love the defensive coordinator and his staff as well. Like, we come ready to work and we're hungry to be on the field.
Walk us through the past 48 hours for you, emotionally. Where was your head at? Where is it currently sit?
Man, it was in Jacksonville, honestly. Like, just came to work every day after prepared with the guys in the room, just linking up with Roy after Ledbetter and Josh and Trey every day. Like, man, it was fun to compete with them boys. Now that I know that I'm on the 53, like, it's a surreal feeling. I'm not gonna lie. I'm blessed to be here. I'm just happy that I'm still here after working with these guys.
Cut day emotions. Are you worried that the gate code's not going to work, or describe what that's like for an NFL player?
Man, cut day, man. That's the worst day of the year for everybody, man. Like, we got to make it to from a 90 to 53. So, like, the emotions are high, but, you know, you just channel it in, like, prayers work. After talking to my family, after, you know, just wake up and after go to work again. After I'm just, you know, like I said earlier before, I'm blessed to be here.
Let's get to know you a little bit more, Aseze. Tell us about where are you from? I know the Gopher family is very proud of you. How you get to land with Minnesota and how you came here to Jacksonville.
I'm originally from Nigeria, but I was born in Indianapolis. Of course, I went to school in Minnesota. After last year, Doug and them came and said they have a practice squad opportunity for me, and that's how I'm in Jacksonville right now.
Indianapolis. So, dare I say, who did you grow up rooting for?
Man, especially the Colts. I obviously rooted for the Colts, but it's no biggie. Like, you know, we're going to see them soon.
A little extra chip on your shoulder. Aseze, what position, when people ask what position you play, what would you say?
What would I say? I'd say I play defensive tackle and a little bit of defensive end. Set the edge, first and second down guy, or I'm just in the trenches, taking on them double teams after forcing one-on-ones. So,
how is Ryan Nielsen's defense perfectly suited for someone with that skill set?
Man, for me, I just love how I can work with the D-line. You know, it's a lot of threats on our D-line when it comes to Eric Armstead and to Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen. Like, the B gap gets really big for a 3-tech, so I would say, like, it suits me really well with my size and my athleticism, being relentless to the ball, pass rushing, and just being able to stop the run as well.
It's no longer this idea of you play nose tackle, you play outside linebacker, right? It's you got to be able to play every
position. Exactly. And you have to just be ready. You have to be in the playbook. You have to know all positions.
I know people have described it as hockey shifts. Is that how you would describe it when he brings these pass rusher waves in?
I don't know if I would describe it as that, but you just got to be on your toes and be ready to go.
For you, I know Doug raved about your work ethic yesterday, about starting on the practice squad last year, developing over the last 12 months or so. For you, is there an extra sense of gratification because of the route you took to get to this 53-man roster?
I wouldn't say an extra sense of gratification. I've always been a hard-working individual where, like, I'll come in every day after I'll just bust my tail day in and day out, and that's like my motto after. That's what I live by, just working hard, because nothing's going to be handed easy to you. So that's what I'm going to continue to do every day and see where it takes me.
Nigerian background. Does that mean you and Foye have some conversations about the roots, or?
Yeah, we haven't had too many conversations about going back home, but yeah, we need to link up and talk about that for sure.
Absolutely. And for you personally, as you approach this next week or so, what's the mindset getting ready for your first active roster week 1 game?
Prepare, come into the facility, I have to prepare like no other, man. I'll be one of the first ones in the building. After we'll see week 1.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, is row the boat a real thing?
Of course, man. It's a never give up mantra. RTB.
You guys are still rowing the boat up there.
Yeah, I'm telling you, hey, it's a culture. We got 18 active guys in the NFL on signed rosters right now. Hey, there's a reason why we was winning.
Don't sleep on those Gophers. Aseze, thank you so much for joining us.
I got you. Thank you.
Okay, so full disclosure, working in Iowa when PJ Fleck had the 13-1 season at Western Michigan, 13-0, or 13-1, I think it ended up being at Western Michigan because they lost in the Cotton Bowl, and then got the job at Minnesota that offseason. And one of my coworkers had covered him in the early days of Western Michigan when he first got there and was building that program. And then, of course, comes to the regional rival in Minnesota. All in on row the boat, right? So, like 2017, 2018, all I heard was row the boat, row the boat. I don't want to say that PJ Fleck has not lived up to expectations because there was an Outback Bowl win in there for the Gophers that Aseze was a part of, by the way. And thank you again to him for joining us. But I couldn't help but ask because do you guys feel like it's cliche? We're over the row the boat? Because they live by it. You heard him. I mean, and look, he's like, hey, 18 active players with Minnesota as their alma mater in the National Football League right now.
I mean, I think you're going to say that for your alma mater and the school you played for. You're never going to be like, nah, I'm not saying that anymore. So good for him for still hanging on to it and knowing the amount of players that are in the NFL from Minnesota. I think other people may say, okay, it's enough rowing the boat. It's not working. You might be sinking a little bit.
I mean, there was a time that I remember during one of the transitions for the Florida head coach, I was thinking about PJ Fleck. He was on the short list. Yeah. Now, obviously, no. But I do think row the boat is more of a, we're all in this together. Yeah. And I will say to the Minnesota point, the very first preseason game against the Chiefs, Aseze had a sack and a half. And I tweeted about him. And the official Minnesota football account retweeted me and liked it and all this stuff. And I was like, I didn't even know in that moment that he went to Minnesota. And I said, wow, they're really proud of him.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's exciting for them. Speaking of college football, real quick before on the other side, we talked to Nick De La Torre. I've always wondered this and never got the answer until right now. So the Miami Hurricanes, the mascot is a bird, but the hurricane is the actual the name, right?
Mm-hmm. No, that it's a pelican.
It's an ibis.
Yeah, ibis.
And here's why. But the hurricane versus the bird, that didn't ever match up to me. I just never really found the answer. The reason it's an ibis is because ibises are known for their bravery during hurricanes.
Oh.
So that is why they decided to have Sebastian the ibis.
I don't like
and
those.
I know you don't like birds.
I don't like that. I just Googled it.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah, I thought that was fantastic. In Egyptian folklore, the ibis is the last animal to seek shelter before a hurricane and the first to reappear after the hurricane passes.
I love that. Wow. So, you do learn something new every day.
Yes.
Which speaking of Nick De La Torre from South Florida, he's going to join us at 1:35, not 12:35.
Okay.
So he'll be joining us in the 1 o'clock hour to break down the Canes, the aforementioned ibis, the pelican led, or not the pelican. I'm going to butcher the birds.
Scary bird.
Miami, Florida. We love birds on this show. No, we don't.
That's why I wasn't going to say, do you want to talk reptiles, birds? Because I knew Taylor would leave the room.
Definitely not.
But yeah, we will continue to talk college football, Jaguars, and more. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The arrow is pointing up for the Jaguars.
All the signs obviously point in the right direction.
1010XL.
Definitely cause for optimism.
Home of the Jaguars.
Did you know you can charge the all-new Honda Electric Prologue in the same receptacle as your phone? You don't need any special charging stations at your home. Simply plug in your Honda or your phone. See your local Honda dealer now. We're electrified.
Hello, Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
Oh, no. No.
You okay in there?
Toilet's backed up. It won't flush.
Okay, I'll call the pros.
The tank isn't filling. The handle does nothing. Run for your life.
Don't be so dramatic. Duck Rooter will fix it.
For any plumbing issue, call Duck Rooter, your local plumbing professionals and proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. DuckRooter.com.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
Yo, if you've been following me on my bookie, you will know that I'm hitting for straight cash, homie. It's your boy E.T. And are you ready for the ultimate college football season? Using my bookie's sports booking casino platform, you can bet on every game and win anytime, anywhere, straight from your mobile device. No app necessary. Just click on the link, sign up, and you're ready to rock. Did you know that the average college football game runs about 180 plays? Every catch, sack, and touchdown is another way to hit that straight cash, homie, using my bookie. And when you bet with my bookie, you're not just watching the games, you're investing in every moment of the action. And I'm speaking from experience. A few bucks on the line can turn any regular game into one of the most exciting games of the season. So make sure you head over to my bookie. And don't forget to use promo code TintinXL when signing up to claim that $1,000 bonus on the first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with my bookie. Come on, somebody.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 29, 1965, San Francisco Giants' Willie Mays sets National League record for home runs in a month with his 17th of August against the New York Mets.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. Are you tired of wrestling with your old shower curtain? Then say goodbye to the curtain chaos and hello to a new frameless shower enclosure. Wago Glass is clear, classy, and won't stick to you like a toddler at bedtime. Plus, it makes your bathroom look bigger and brighter. Upgrade your shower experience and step into style. Call me at Baker Glass and get ready to love your new glass shower enclosure. Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Expert Automotive is ready to keep you cool this summer. Right now, get an AC inspection or a system cooling checkup. Your choice for only $19.99. Their gift to you this summer is $50 off any service and a free tire rotation with any service. Their ASE certified technicians can keep your car cool without breaking the bank this summer. Call them at 374-3373 to get an appointment today. Expert Automotive. They never sell greed, only what you need.
How far is it to the center of the earth? The answer next.
With hurricane season now here, the only weather you need to be concerned about is whether your homeowner's insurance policy will cover you in the event of storm damage. Ask about Southern Oak Insurance today.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Since the earth is 7,900 miles wide, digging to the center is about 4,000 miles deep.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Former Jaguars corner and first-year head football coach at Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows, K-12, Aaron Beasley here. Are you looking for an A-rated K-12 school prioritizing academics, arts, and athletics? Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows offers a rigorous curriculum to develop strong minds with an additional focus on growing good hearts. DCSB has been an A school for 8 years, and our tuition is free. Now enrolling. Apply at baymeadowscharter.org.
If you're looking for custom metalwork, look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Whether it's custom railing, shade structures, or custom entry gates, their expert team controls the turnkey process. From CAD design and raw metal to powder-coated finish and expert installation. When you choose Superior Fence and Rail for your custom metal project, you get a project that's, well, superior. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
Injured in an accident? Have mounting medical bills? Can't work? Don't worry. Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan of Von Rowan Law. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve. Set up your free consultation at zachsgotyourback.com.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Running back Tank Bigsby, entering his second season with the Jags, was one of the bright spots in preseason, having a 19-yard rush against the Chiefs. Offensive coordinator Press Taylor spoke on Tank's progress.
Yeah, he's done a good job. Tank's a guy that even last year, it's very, very important to him. I mean, there's not a lot of guys that care more than Tank cares. You know, to watch him throughout the course of last season as well, and then attack the offseason program, attack training camp, he just continues to take the steps that you hope to see from a young player, especially somebody that we do believe we'll be able to count on. He's shown that, he's earned that, and we're excited about what's ahead for Tank.
Sound courtesy of Jaguars.com. I'm Molly McDonald with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Helmets and Heels is switched on by
First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Upscale lighting, fans, and home decor on 1010XL.
Mia O'Brien, Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you on this Thursday. Yes, that's right. It's a Thursday, and we're here. No Jaguars programming today. They'll be back next week. So I believe this is our last Thursday program until hopefully after the Super Bowl.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the bye
Let's
week,
go.
JP Shadrick and Jeff Lageman are going to need a little bit of vacation then, too.
That's true, too. Maybe. We shall see. All right. What's the latest, Taylor? You were telling us off air about Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, so there's obviously this drama's been going on forever at this point, but the most recent thing I've heard is that all three teams, as in the Steelers, the Browns, and the Niners, have offers on the table for Brandon Ayuk. All are very high offers on the table and good contracts for Brandon Ayuk, and it's kind of just waiting for him to decide where he wants to go. A lot of the reports say that the Browns offer is the highest, but he does not want to go to Cleveland. So it looks
Why
like...
not? Jerry Jeudy says it's beautiful this time of year.
Well, and we did just see that Deshaun Watson, for the second year in a row, restructured his contract, so that's why...
And I'm seeing them keeping